And here we go, 10:10 on the dot. How about that for all of our East Coast viewers? Welcome into Smack Talk here on the Sportskeeda Wrestling Facebook page and the WrestleBinge by Sportskeeda YouTube channel. Rick Ucchino, SP3, and Bill Apter joining us again this week. The legend Bill Apter joining us again.
I'm a legend in my own mind. I always say that, like Captain Lou Albano, and I want to give a little bit of an update. Dutch, as you know, is not in this spot again this week, and he's graciously allowed me once again to sit in for him. And I want to thank all the people that sent these wonderful comments in. But no matter what your comments are, I'm staying until he gets back. Right, guys?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
All right. But
you are in, and hey, if you just want to stick around even after he's back,
well, listen, those checks you've been sending have been unbelievable. I was able to get a new pack of my Fruit Adventure Tic Tacs. So the money's been good. Hey, listen, I know there's usually, when Dutch is here, there's a format to follow, but I want to start off with something a little off format.
Okay.
Unscripted, so to say.
Oh,
Which is a great show that Dr. Chris Featherstone and I do Tuesday nights live right here on WrestleBinge.
Cheap plug, cheap pop. Let's go.
What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I know. What did you say now?
No, I said cheap plug, cheap pop. Let's go, baby.
Cheap plug. I thought you said something else. All right.
No.
Yeah. No, it wasn't cheap. Remember, I had to send you that money that you sent.
Oh, yeah. We just send text back and forth between each other.
So tonight on Friday Night SmackDown, we saw an extended segment from CM Punk. And, he's still not sure whether he's going to go to Raw or he's going to go to SmackDown or maybe NXT. However, here's my question. For the women's division, do you think that AJ Lee, his lovely wife, might be romanced to come back and be given the same situation, Raw, SmackDown, or NXT? I, for one, think that the fans, now that Punk is back and everybody knows his wife is AJ Lee, not AJ Styles, as some people thought. As he said last week, he said, AJ says hi. But I think that this would be a great angle to do, where AJ Lee goes through the same process that her husband, CM Punk, goes through. It'd be very compelling with him, kind of advising her, well, maybe, SmackDown, well, I don't know, maybe, the two of them just trying to decide. What do you two think about that storyline?
Rick?
I would love to see AJ Lee back in WWE. I'd love to see her back in a wrestling ring, period. She was cast as a wrestler in season 2 of Heels, which some network better freaking pick up for season 3 after it was inexplicably canceled by Stars. Fantastic show. But if you're somebody like myself who has been missing AJ Lee in a wrestling ring for the past decade now, go watch Heel season 2, because just getting to see her do a little bit of something inside of a wrestling ring again was spectacular. And it gave me all the feels, and it made me fall in love with her all over again. And I want to see her back. I want to see her back in the ring, and I want to see her against the Becky Lynches of the world and the Charlotte Flairs and the Baileys and the Bianca Belairs. There's so much talent that is here now that I want to see how she could stack up against. And I don't know if it's going to happen, but hell yes, I would love to see it happen, especially, and we'll dive into this, with CM Punk's first big, rivalry looking like it's going to be Seth Rollins coming out of the gate here and heading into WrestleMania season. My God, if there was ever a time to do a husband and wife tag team match, AJ Lee, CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, just shoot that shit into my veins.
So you're voting for her if they do that angle, and he goes to Raw, which I think he will. You're voting for her to go to Raw as well.
Oh yeah, wherever he goes, she goes. Yeah, I would be down.
That's usually how WWE works. They keep the married couples together. I think AJ Lee coming into WWE right now would be very interesting with the current landscape of the women's division. And she was kind of an outlier because you kind of have these stars that are kind of like defined of the women's division in WWE throughout history. Like in the 2000s, you had the Trish and Lita, and then when they retired, came in Mickey James and Beth Phoenix, and then a long period there was no identifying star of the women's division until AJ Lee came in and kind of just elevated herself, was in the main event picture, doing storylines with CM Punk, with Daniel Bryan, with Kane, all these guys, being the general manager, doing segments with Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
She was all involved and really kind of set the path for what the four horsewomen were able to do with the women's division overall. So I think that AJ Lee coming in and interacting with your Baileys, with your Charlotte Flairs, with your Bianca Belairs, with your Rhea Ripleys, Becky Lynch's, it's a very intriguing proposition. I don't know if that's something that she wants, though.
Yeah.
I think that that's what it all comes down to, and I don't think that just because Punk is back means that she's gonna walk through.
No, this is strictly hypothetical.
No, I'm going on the side of no, she's not gonna come
back. I want to see it. I think there's a better shot, and this is just me spitballing here because I don't know her, what her goals are, or what she wants out of life. I think there's a better chance of maybe like a one-off, like doing a tag, and that's why I said a tag team match, not as much pressure. Obviously, she can come in and do a couple of high spots with Becky, and they can have a stare down, and they can tell a story in the ring, and it would be great. Absolutely. I just want to see her. I just want to see her on TV. If she shows up on TV one time, skips down to the ring, gets on the mic, maybe smiles at somebody, I'm a happy dude. Like, that's all I really need to see. All I really want, honestly, is that one Royal Rumble appearance. Like, even before CM Punk ever came back to wrestling, that's all anybody seemed to talk about. Like, after the female Royal Rumble first came out, they were like, oh, wouldn't it be great if AJ Lee could come back for one shot? Wouldn't it be, this is the year AJ Lee's going to come back. Maybe.
See, this is great because here you have Punk back now. You get AJ Lee, and even if it's not, man and woman tag team things, even if they're on the same brand, it's going to be the family versus the family, so to say. Even if the four of them don't get in the ring at the same time, it's still going to be family versus family. And I think WWE would do great to play that storyline here.
One thing I will say that I have learned over the last 2 years, and it's been such a cliche for a long time, but honestly, it never say never at this point. I never thought that Cody Rhodes would return to WWE, but here we are. I never thought that Edge would wrestle again, but here he is. Never thought Christian would wrestle again. Never thought Paige would wrestle again. Never thought Vince McMahon would sell WWE or Triple H would take over his head as creative. All of those things have happened, gentlemen. Never thought in a million years CM Punk would come back to WWE, but now he's home, ladies and gentlemen. This is where he always belonged, as he said on Monday a couple weeks back there, SP3. So, yeah, we'll probably get AJ Lee at some point. I mean,
probably so.
Yeah, it never say never. Let's talk about
this. I think we are going to see her emerge, and they're going to play that family gimmick up. It's so hot to have that whole thing because Rollins has been going on social media and on other programs talking about the word Bruno Sammartino used to use all the time. He never used that. He'd never say, I hate this guy, Ken Patera. He'd always say, I have a lot of animosity against this Patera. And this is what the verbiage that Seth Rollins is using currently, that he doesn't hate AJ. He doesn't hate him. He has a lot of animosity toward him. I think it'll be great. I really do.
And that's what I'm hoping we get into this Seth Rollins thing sooner rather than later. And I think that's why it's the first one that's going to be up and is probably going to carry into WrestleMania season. And we'll dive into that. But you see Rollins going out there immediately and talking with SI and airing out all the personal laundry. Not all of it. He didn't get into a whole lot of details, but he definitely got into some details with SI. Sure. And Punk alluded to a few things tonight. Punk didn't even say his name tonight.
No, he's holding that for Monday, I think.
I think so, 100%. Let's dive into this CM
let's
program. It kicked off hour number 2. We'll jump around a lot tonight because, well, frankly, not a whole lot happened in that first hour. Make sure to get your comments in, your questions in. If you have anything for Bill, we'll be monitoring the chat and as Amon Perry here says, that CM Punk promo tonight. If I can get the chat to work, holy crap, my button's not working. Amon Perry says that CM Punk promo was epic. I can't get it to pop up on the screen for some reason. So, hey, there we go. You can also send in a super chat. There it is. Hey, delayed. There we go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to send in a super chat, that's also a guaranteed way to make sure that your comment gets read on the air tonight.
I wasn't sure where CM Punk was going with this promo after a while. It seemed to go on and on quite a bit. He mentioned a lot of names. He was very friendly toward the audience, but after a while, it just seemed to be like, I don't know how much time he did tonight, but I was just kind of looking as there was just a lot of talk. There weren't any points until he and Cody, which I loved that moment, were together in the dressing room, since they haven't been together on camera since the AEW days. And Cody talked to Punk about, well, if you want Roman Reigns, you're going to have to win the Royal Rumble. So that, I think, putting Cody and CM Punk declaring he hasn't yet to be in the Royal Rumble is going to really amp the Royal Rumble feelings up here. It does for me. Sure.
This Rumble for sure, and we'll dive into that. Feels pretty wide open at this point. Although maybe not. Maybe it's down to 2 guys, but we'll see.
What did you think about his ring talk tonight?
Yeah, look, so I personally loved this because right out of the bat here, SP3, he says, I'm not at the end of the show. I'm starting off the 9 o'clock hour. My time ain't getting cut tonight. All right. He acknowledged the fact that people were expecting something a little bit different in his welcome home promo and necessarily wanted more of the spicy CM Punk, as he said tonight. So let me give you a little taste of that. And first things first, I love that he brought up Roman Reigns, like right off the bat, the guy who's not always there all the time. And he's taking little subtle jabs there. And he's talking about the bloodline and shouting out Jey Uso. And he's talking about Randy Orton. Then he's talking about Kevin Owens, and then he puts the brakes and pumps up on Kevin Owens, saying maybe we're too similar to work together. We can't be punching people backstage. It's 2023. Not a lot of people are comfortable working with somebody like that tonight. So, it was he put a lot of people over. He mentioned a lot of people that he could work with tonight. He made a subtle little jab at some things that happened in AEW. It felt like he was crossing off the checklist of everything that people wanted for him to say on Monday Night Raw that he didn't get time to tonight. This felt more like a CM Punk type promo. You could tell some things were a little scripted, but CM Punk definitely went off the cuff here a little bit tonight. This was Punk this is what we get. This is WWE CM Punk SP3. We're not going to get totally unfiltered CM Punk like we would in AEW, but I thought this was much better. And he knew it too, because he did the whole.
It was much better. Definitely.
It was night and day because he had a purpose. He had a purpose of teasing who he was going to go against, whether it was Roman Reigns saying that he's the OG Heyman guy, whether it was Kevin Owens with the subtle jab at Brawl Out with reference to Kevin Owens' current character. So it played in very nicely, and it was just so smooth, and it didn't even feel like a jab, and the crowd didn't react to it like a jab. I mean, that was the only bad nitpick I could say about the promo part, is that the crowd didn't get the ooze that I expected them to get with that line there. But other than that, I think that he teased a whole bunch of matchups, whether it was Cody Rhodes, the Bloodline, Randy Orton, LA Knight. This is the promo that we wanted on Monday. This had a goal in mind. You had a whole purpose, a mission statement of him trying to go for the main event of WrestleMania. It doesn't matter. He never said Roman Reigns he was going after. He said he was the main event of WrestleMania. So that can be against Seth Rollins. I like that. I like him teasing that he's going after the Royal Rumble. So he did a couple of different things. He teased all the potential feuds that he can have. He teased the fact that his mission statement is to main event WrestleMania and to come back and finish his story. So this is the promo that we needed last Monday, but I'm glad we got it here. And then the rest of the night was just Triple H saying, hey, I'm going to tease every feud he could potentially have for the duration of his contract, just in case he punches somebody backstage.
You know what? You just mentioned the main event at WrestleMania, and I think that he against Seth Rollins, of course, the seeds are being laid for that very slowly and very well at this point, and I think that's going to pack the Peacock paper, you want to call it pay-per-view, whatever, but I think they're going to do incredible business with that as a main event. I really do.
And here's the thing, like, they're gonna have a lot of options for both. We pretty much know it's gonna be Roman and Cody on night 2, you know, barring any unforeseen circumstances. But we
know the main events of WrestleMania, guys. Let's stop trying to say they have different options. It's guys, it's gonna be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes on night 2. It's gonna be
I'm not sold on that.
It's gonna be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins on night 1. I will put money on it. I will go on FanDuel right now and put $1 on both of those bets because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be.
I mean, $1 not exactly putting your money where your mouth is. SP3.
Hey, I'm just gonna put $1. I don't bet too much.
He's betting his payoff.
Yeah, I'm just. I know I'm going to get back. I'm going to get back $1, so that's pretty much fine with me.
You're gonna get back 12 cents. I think they're clearly the favorites, but my point being is, like, there are going to be angles. There are going to be matches that theoretically could be options. It's gonna
yes. We've got 4 months.
SP3.
We've got 4 months left.
You have got like 9
guys.
You have 9.
There's not going to be anything bigger than what Roman Reigns is doing and what CM Punk is doing. Those are the 2 biggest stars this company got right now. I'm sorry to tell y'all that. I'm sorry now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch have one of the greatest feuds ever going into WrestleMania. It doesn't matter if Gunther is hotter than what he is right now. It does not matter. CM Punk's coming back to main event WrestleMania. And Roman Reigns is going to main event WrestleMania. So that's your 2 spots, unless they're main event against each other.
Oh, or unless the wives are main eventing night 1.
No, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I just don't see Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley having a hot feud enough to eclipse CM Punk right now. CM Punk is red hot. CM Punk is red hot, and especially after this promo, I don't see how they're gonna not make him red hot going into WrestleMania.
To be fair, Punk actually has to make it to April, so there is that.
That is true. That is true. that might be the only hope we have to me being wrong, guys.
But
no, remember, CM Punk. CM Punk is if you really think about where this is happening in Philadelphia, CM Punk, I mean, so much of his career has been there. So it's almost like a hometown guy. He's going to get, the place is going to blow up.
If memory, didn't I see, I think Rollins was almost kind of getting booed at some house shows too. Like, I think this is going to be a very interesting build because I think there are going to be more people on CM Punk's side than there are going to be on Seth Rollins' side. Because you have two big time over baby faces. Sure, they were singing the song with CM Punk tonight, and that's a good sign for Seth Rollins. But as Dutch has talked about in the past, you're going to put white hot babyface versus white hot babyface. You're going to make your audience choose. You're going to split them up. It's going to be interesting to see. Is it a 50-50 crowd? Is it a 60-40 crowd? God forbid, is it a 75-25 crowd? Are you going to have to turn one of these two dudes heel? Like, the build for this is going to be very, very interesting, and it's going to be incredible because it's based off of real life hatred and jealousy and bitterness and all this stuff that Seth Rollins is already teasing in his SI interview. Like, it's going to just absolutely pop whenever it does happen.
It's got to be that.
Yeah, and it's like I've seen people talk about, well, they could do this match at the Royal Rumble. Hell no, you don't do this match at Royal Rumble. You do this match at WrestleMania. You got so much story to tell. You don't need to rush this sumbitch and do the WWE thing where these guys wrestle 3 times during WrestleMania season. No. You lead up to WrestleMania and you do that. The interesting thing is, how do we get there? How does Cody get to Roman? How does Punk get to Rollins? And I think it comes down to, as it was alluded to in this backstage segment, the Royal Rumble. Interesting was the word that Cody used here, Bill. Could you imagine Tropicana Field, Tampa, Florida, all of a sudden we get down to the final 2 competitors in the Royal Rumble, and it is CM Punk and it is Cody Rhodes.
That's what I'm envisioning, definitely.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's going to be hard to pick who's going to go over in that particular match. I mean, if the fans were picking it right now, it's hard to, if it was tonight, might be CM Punk. However, we don't know how they're moving Cody along. And remember now, there's an asterisk here. Somebody that's on the same level as them. And what if he wins the Royal Rumble? What if it's Randy Orton? He's hot as hell right now.
I think Orton's facing Roman at the Rumble. He's not going to be
he's not
in
going
the
to
Rumble match. That's what it seems like.
No, I'm sorry. I was talking WrestleMania. I was talking WrestleMania, not the Rumble.
Yeah. And that's what I was alluding to before, SP3 declared what the main events were. And I don't disagree with SP3. I do believe that those will end up being the night 1 and night 2 main events of WrestleMania. Those are the heavy favorites at this point. We'll see how the builds go and what ends up being the actual case. It doesn't happen until it happens. But WWE is in a spot right now where you have got LA Knight, who is still massively over. Randy Orton is red hot since coming back. You still have Kevin Owens, who's over. You still have Sami Zayn, who's over. You have Cody Rhodes, who is over. You have Jey Uso, who is getting just as many pops as they. You have 5, 6, 7, 8 over baby faces who are all going to be fighting for spots and major storylines and big time programs heading into WrestleMania. It's a great problem to have. But some of these dudes are going to end up in random tag matches. Like, what
I will tell you my feeling here for Randy Orton. We keep wondering who's the guy that's going to beat Gunther for the title. He's the guy. He's the guy.
I mean, Gunther needs a big time match. Like, I think it would be a disservice to him and this run that he's been on if he gets thrown in the WrestleMania leftover, here's an IC title ladder match. You know what I'm saying?
No. I'm talking about Randy Orton gets that.
I know. That's what I'm agreeing with you is what I'm saying is, like, if Gunther needs a big time match, and if it's with a guy like Randy Orton, a guy who, because I mean, Gunther's big thing is he's out of competitors, right? He's out of competitors. He's out of challengers. Nobody's on his level. The problem is they're on 2 different brands now. So not that that's a really big deal come WrestleMania season.
Can do it.
You just put Randy Orton on SmackDown so he could feud with Roman Reigns. After that, anything can work out. Who knows? Maybe Randy Orton will RKO Nick Aldis 14 times, and Aldis will trade his ass over to Raw. I mean,
no, we're getting Aldis versus Orton at WrestleMania, man.
Sign me up for that.
It's going down. I'm getting Nick Aldis getting that WrestleMania payday.
Of all the backstage segments tonight, by the way, guys, the one I love most. The one I love most is when Orton gave Aldis a check for $100,000, and he's like, "Randy, the fine was only for 50. Oh, that's for next time." Like, this calling a shot. Like, I'm gonna do it again, so I might as well just pay you up front.
It has to be Aldis versus Pierce in the entertainment match of the night, so to say, because they both can still work really well.
Can't be any worse than Snoop versus Miz at WrestleMania. That's what I'll say.
I mean, I know Aldis can work. I don't know about Pierce. I haven't seen.
Oh
Pierce
God, I saw Pierce forever in the Indies.
I know. I saw him too. I saw him in Ring of Honor for years. That was 2 decades ago. That was in the aughts. We in the 20s. We in the 20s.
That was in the 1900s, as the kids like to say.
I haven't seen him wrestle since Nexus was the top
faction in
WWE. That's the last time I saw him wrestle.
Yeah. That's the match.
Last time they was going to give him a match, they replaced him. Like, after a week, they said he was in a match with Roman Reigns, and then they replaced him because they didn't want to put him in the ring.
Right, but they will
against Nick Aldis versus Randy Orton. If you want to have an NWA style matchup in WWE, that's the 2 guys to put in there. Randy Orton would love to work with Nick Aldis.
Kevin says we need Brock Lesnar versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I'd agree with you. I don't know if Brock Lesnar's coming back to wrestle for the IC title. Yeah. I don't know if he's doing that. I don't know if he's gonna be doing that. He'd rather be moose hunting than fighting for the IC title. Like that'd have to be a hell of a payday.
I want to see Gunther against someone who's a good technical wrestler like he is, and Randy Orton can do both. He can brawl and he can wrestle technically. To me, he is the perfect opponent for Gunther. My opinion.
I would be 100% down with that. Jeff asking, when is Jade Cargill going to make her debut? As Triple H said, whenever the hell she's ready. Like honestly, whenever she's ready to go. Like they introduced her. They did a soft open. Let's call it, with her, kind of an introduction, get people intrigued, which I thought was really, really smart. Put her on NXT TV a lot. I think she's going to show up in NXT at this point. Clearly, they feel like she still needs a little bit of development, and that's not a bad thing. They want to make sure that she is
Rumble.
I think she definitely is going to be in the Royal Rumble. I think that would be a great spot for her. It's a battle royal. You don't need to put on some kind of technical style masterpiece. You can get her over by having a dominant performance where she's just have her go out there and eliminate 10 women, and set the women's elimination record. Have her eliminate Nia Jax by herself, right? Like have her go out there and do some really impressive stuff.
She's got to win.
Oh, I don't know about winning it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
No, I don't think they're going to put her in there. I don't think they're going to put her in there to get a wrestling debut and not come out the winner. If she's in the Royal Rumble, somehow they've got to put her over as the winner.
The thing I will
put her in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. The thing that I'll disagree with you, Bill. It's not anybody can get thrown over the top rope, right? Like it's not that big of a deal to. It's not like you're burying somebody unless you're like pulling a Santino, right? Even people thought Chelsea Green was getting buried the way she got eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and she's turned it into a spectacular character. Jade Cargill getting tossed over the top rope by somebody like a Becky Lynch, somebody who's like a wise veteran who just outsmarts her because she's got more experience. There's nothing wrong with that. And it also sets up a feud down the line.
I don't see that. I see if anytime Jade Cargill makes her debut, it's going to be a spectacular win.
Yeah, then it shouldn't be at the Royal Rumble. That's for sure.
Might not be at the Rumble. Yeah. But don't say that I didn't predict it. If she's in the Rumble, that she's going to wind up at the end.
Oh, she might be wind up at the end. She ain't winning, though.
I'm talking about winning.
She'll finish second. She'll finish second.
Right. So who finishes first?
Oh, I think Becky's winning this year. I think Becky's winning.
No.
Yep.
No.
What'd you guys think of
Homer? He's a Becky Lynch fan, ladies and gentlemen.
Obvious.
I mean, it has been obvious for like 12 months. I've been saying it for 12 months that Becky Lynch is facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. So it's not that much that he's being a homer, but he's just reading the tea leaves that WWE has been knocking us over the head with for a year.
Yeah. The face-to-face interactions, the subtle little hey, this, that, and the other thing. She says, I got some fights coming up. Becky's just tuning herself up. She's like, let me take care of Nia Jax here. Let me get into
Rhea Ripley. Right, there's two people that are over on the women's roster on Raw. And Rhea Ripley's been feuding with everybody else but the other over woman.
Yeah.
All right. Wait a minute.
That's pretty much
I'm going to settle this. The day after the Royal Rumble, Becky Lynch wins, is there going to be a big buzz in the business? No, it'll be Becky won. Jade Cargill wins, it's going to be like, oh my God, look, this was spectacular. Even if it's not spectacular, it's the new kid on the block, and it's a new feeling, and it's a new year. That's what I'm thinking.
But Bill, this is something that I always tell Rick when he comes up with, when he thinks he has a good idea, and I always ask the same question I'm going to ask you. And then what? And then she has a match with Rhea Ripley and doesn't look good. And then she has a matchup with Io Sky, and Io Sky has a carrier. Like
she might look good.
Triple H went on a press conference and said she wasn't ready. So you're telling me that like a month and a half later, she's ready to be in the main event of WrestleMania? That seems like a far reach.
Okay, wait a minute. It might not mean that she's not ready in terms of what she's doing in the ring. It might mean that she's not ready in terms of the package that they're trying to make out of her. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, she was already a finished package. The thing that she
Yeah.
had to work on is the in-ring. I think that was the question that he was asked, and he said she's not ready yet. It's the in-ring. It's not the package. It's the in-ring.
Well, everything needs to be right. And is there a chance by the Royal Rumble it might be? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's what, December 8th, and
6
the Royal
weeks,
Rumble is
I think 6-8 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, six
Yeah.
to 8 weeks. So we'll see. She's reportedly at the PC three some odd days a week, maybe more at this point, just getting her reps in.
1 to 3. That's what I read. I read 1 to 3. She get paid to be there like 1 day a week. Yo, Jade Cargill, businesswoman of the year. I know
she going to the Big 12 championship game. She's standing up there with the Undertaker, handing out title belts, talking to Nelly.
Yeah. They want her to be seen.
She's living the life.
I respect it, sister.
Yeah, she's living the life right now. What do we think about our main event tonight here, guys? It was LA Knight and Randy Orton versus two members of the Bloodline. Roman Reigns coming back next week, thank God. I thought this was a fun match. Obviously, both LA and Randy are massively over. I liked how this was kind of a, not to be crude here, but a bit of a dick measuring contest between Randy Orton and LA Knight in this matchup tonight. They kept trying to tag each other in and out, and LA Knight's going for the BFT at the end of it, and Orton's like, nah, son, this is mine, and he steals away Jimmy Uso from him and gives him the RKO to pick up the win. It was a fun SmackDown tag team match of can these guys coexist? But at the end of the day, the babyfaces got their hands raised. And the
Did you not notice that at the beginning? At the beginning, LA Knight came out first to the LA Knight. When Randy came out and LA Knight was staring at him, Randy made sure very carefully that he went up to that top rope like he always does. But it took him a little longer tonight. It's almost like, now I'm here. Let's show everybody what the cheers are. Yeah, definitely.
I enjoyed this tonight. I thought I love how Orton, by the way, came back. I didn't even know who this dude was until last week. Like, just pulling the Brock Lesnar, like, you think I watched the program? I had no idea who the hell this guy was, SP3. Yeah. I loved it. He's like, now you're making me tag with the guy? What the hell's up with that? Then we get that nice little interaction with him backstage after CM Punk shows up and says, hey, good luck tonight, boys. Again, a nice little subtle tease. And then Orton's like, you ready for tonight? Yeah. Out to the ring.
Triple H, when I'm CM Punk, you jump in this segment. You jump in this segment. It was crazy. He went backstage. He goes to the Bloodline door. He's about to knock on it. He decides not to. He runs into Kevin Owens, and he has a little interaction with Owens where he asks him, "Do you know where the Nick Aldis's office is at?" And KO says, "Nope." And then walks away. So a little interaction there. And then he's in Aldis' office. He's talking to Aldis. He gives him the paperwork to look over if he wants to go to SmackDown. And then Cody Rhodes come in. Like we said before, they do the little handshake, talk about the Royal Rumble. And then finally he does that thing with Randy Orton. I was like, yo, that's 4 feuds you done teased on this show. I was like, yo, Triple H, I respect it. I respect him saying, I'm going to tease everything just in case.
I felt this was more like, well, we know he's signing on Raw, so if I'm going to use him on SmackDown, I'm going to use him in 5 or 6 segments and really just make sure we fill him up on his one appearance on Fox.
See, what we're doing what the fan is doing right now. The fan watched SmackDown, and they're thinking, well, who's he going to feud with? Who's he going to? That's what we're doing here. So this is really good TV. This is really good wrestling TV because it's making the fans and the people in the media like us, it's making us think. It's great.
You know what else I loved about this, SP3? Is the fact that the audience played right into CM Punk's hand tonight. Like, they were cheering for him to definitely sign with SmackDown. Like, Monday Night Raw ain't going to come to their town in the near future. Like there's some actual audience stakes in this.
When did they become like this was like an NBA NFL team? I was like, when did they become like the SmackDown homer? Just supposed to be on SmackDown? Now we're cheering for him to go to. I was like, what does it matter? I was like, Raw, you can get Raw and SmackDown on both of your TVs. They're gonna come to your town. Raw will be here next, and then you can cheer for him on Raw. It'll be fine. Ain't
nobody sitting in the crowd like Rob Lowe wearing an NFL hat that says SmackDown on it. Like, ain't nobody pulling that shit off.
You would have thought Raw was the Navy. Like they were like it was Army
That's
versus
a good.
Navy out here.
That's a good. By the way, going back to another part of SmackDown tonight, did you notice what Charlotte Flair was not wearing?
What was she doing?
That outfit was quite revealing tonight.
Usually is with her.
It just seemed more so, though. She seemed to have more of that Amazon look tonight than she has. What did you think of her match?
Yeah, I was gonna move to that next. We did get Asuka versus Charlotte tonight, and it was okay. It was a TV match. Anything that happens in this match, though, was marred by the end when Charlotte unfortunately got injured. I had to go back and I'm like, when did this go down? Because she actually got hurt twice, I think, in this match, because we were coming back from commercial break and they were talking about a slip spot that we didn't see, and she was kind of like checking on her jaw and making sure it looked like maybe she was bleeding there a little bit. And then she gets Asuka in the corner and she goes to do the whip spot, and then she immediately goes down, like she twisted something, and she was holding on the knee, and it's always a scary spot, Bill, when you can't put any weight on it initially. And the match ended very abruptly. After that, Bayley came down. She caused the distraction. The rest of Damage Control was run off by all the ladies in the SmackDown locker room, which I actually liked. And I liked that commentary brought up the fact that Michin and Zelina Vega got laid out, because I completely forgot about that. And I'm like, why the hell do they care? Where did they come from? So shout out to Michael Cole for reminding me that their asses got taken out by Damage Control. And I'm like, oh yeah, they do have an axe to grind. There we go. This makes some damn sense. But
did you notice after the commercial, when they came back, you could see Charlotte, both of them were down, and Charles Robinson was chatting with her, probably asking her, are you all right, etc. And it just, I'd hate to see her hurt like that. There's such a history of Charles Robinson and Charlotte's father, Ric Flair. It's so unusual for me to see them, the daughter and Charles Robinson. Yeah, absolutely. Did you notice, by the way, they took his woo, since he's been with AEW, they took his woo out of the intro?
They should have just replaced it with Charlotte's and called it a day.
They could have, but maybe they don't want to.
I don't know. They who knows? Hey, they said Ric Flair on commentary tonight, so there's still some love there. But regardless,
I would have sworn it was still there, though. But
regardless, I
didn't catch that. Wait, where was that? I didn't catch that.
Ric
Flair being mentioned?
The mention?
Well, Ric Flair was mentioned during the main event. Michael Cole said that Randy Orton only two men have more world championship wins than Randy Orton, and it was John Cena and Ric Flair.
So it's historical.
Yeah, but I went back in this and I'm looking, because I saw the same thing that you were talking about, Bill, with Charles Robinson checking on Charlotte. I think that was after the slip spot that we didn't see on TV. I rewound it. I was like, did she hurt herself on the moonsault off the top rope? Because she kind of misfired on that, and there was a bit of a stretch, but she seemed okay there. It was definitely that spot where she whipped Charlotte in the corner. She was unable to put weight on it. SP3, I'm wondering, because it didn't make a whole lot of sense for Asuka to win this match, because they were touting Charlotte as having the same goal as Bianca of having to go through Damage Control to get a shot at Io. I was expecting Bayley to screw up again. I was expecting Asuka to win this matchup.
Me too.
But Charlotte gets hurt. She can barely move. Asuka picks up the win. And I did like Bayley at the end saying, I did that. That was me, like puffing out her chest, like I did something right. Y'all can't be mad at me no more. So there was some stuff to like here, but yeah, scary situation, because Charlotte had to be helped to the back afterwards. So hopefully, as Will sends in a super chat, we do appreciate that. Yeah, I do hope Charlotte is okay, because
we all do.
Yeah, that was scary when she couldn't put any weight on it. And you saw it right at the end that she just got up to do the final spot with Bayley, and then basically had to do the Owen Hart back bump into the roll up from SummerSlam '97 when Austin broke his neck. That was basically what Charlotte had to do, because her knee was she couldn't put any weight on it. So it was sad to see that, but honestly, I thought that was going to be the finish to begin with. I was like, you can't have Bayley once again mess up, because then what are you going to do? You literally have to have Damage Control turn on her, because she's messed up now 3 times in a row. So you needed this to actually have a story of ups and downs, not one thread line story of Bailey's a mess up. Bailey's a mess up. Bailey's a mess up. Then my question next week would have been, why is Damage Control not kicking her out? Like, she's messed up this many times. Now it's an actual interesting story of how does Damage Control respond to Bailey is the reason why you got the win this week. How do you respond to that? How are they going to treat her differently, or are they going to still treat her the same?
No, you're right.
I disagree, though, in the fact that it hasn't been clear Bailey mess ups. Like last week when Kyrie lost, it's because Kyrie's
that's how they're treating her. That's how they treated her like she was the mess up. If she's still messing, it makes it more interesting for next week if she didn't mess up this week. If she did the right thing and then they still treat her that way next week, then it's like, okay, as the fans, you're like, oh, I feel bad for Bailey, which is the whole purpose of this whole story, is to turn Bailey babyface. So this is why I think this was the right move, and that's why I thought from the very beginning Bailey had to be the reason why she got the win this week to make the story interesting next week. Because if she messed up this week again, my question next week would have been, so why Damage Control?
What are you going to do? Right?
Yeah,
what happened?
Kick her to the curb at this point. Like you treated her like she messed up again. Nah, kick it to the curb. Now it's interesting next week.
Yeah, no, if they still treat her like crap, then my theory of it's going to be Bailey that says, screw you guys, and she's going to turn on the rest of Damage Control to make the babyface turn. It was actually going to come to fruition. Revamped Wrestling saying no AJ Styles tonight. That sucked. AJ Styles was rumored as supposed to come back tonight. Then he wasn't coming back tonight. I do believe it was Fightful Select who reported its creative decision on AJ Styles to keep him away right now. Because where do you fit him? Because AJ Styles, if he's coming back, he's got to come back and have beef with the Bloodline. And right now, you've got Randy Orton and LA Knight who are beefing with the Bloodline. So how do you bring AJ Styles back right now?
We're trying to get two AJs back at the same time. This is amazing.
Yeah, one's under contract though, and he one's under contract.
If AJ Styles came back,
he's just chilling. He's supposed to get a world title match, and then he got taken out.
Yeah, but if AJ Styles comes back let's say next week, who's he going against? And
I don't think he comes back until the Rumble at this point.
Yeah, you got to do that, either the Rumble or the New Year.
I think the Rumble.
Nice shout out for you here, SP3. Thunder Rosa wins the Royal Rumble, right? Right?
Hell yeah! Leave Tony Khan and come to Paul Levesque. He care about the ladies.
Ooh.
All right, gentlemen, we real quick here because we're almost out of time. We had our two matches in hour number one tonight. The first round matchups of the United States.
I'm tic-tacking.
Gotcha. Bill,
my contract has me getting a 3-minute tic-tac break. So.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's not an official sponsor yet, by the way, but Tic Tacs, if you're wanting to sponsor them, we'll take your money. All right. Yes. So we get two matches. The opening round matches up for the United States title tournament to determine a number one contender for Logan Paul. We get Santos Escobar defeating Dragon Lee tonight. This one was weird for me here, guys. Another good match between these guys. It was fine. The ending felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. It felt a little rushed, and it was really weird to have Dragon Lee kind of lose clean as a sheet right before he faces Dominic Mysterio at Deadline tomorrow night. So this was a little weird, SP3, a little weird.
Yeah, I was like, way to sell that NXT pay-per-view tomorrow. The guy that's the number one contender just lost clean as a sheet again. That was the same finish we got at Survivor Series. Yeah. I was like, y'all were pushing him 3 weeks ago. He was winning and having showcase cruiserweight style matches on the show, and now he loses twice to Santos Escobar down the line. And then if he loses on Saturday, it's like, why did you even put him in that?
I think people are going to expect him to lose, and he's going to win.
Yeah, I know he's going to win. He has to win. What's the reason of putting him in the match if he's not winning?
I was gonna say, like, you got to get that NXT title, the North American Championship, off of Dominic, because the whole creative storyline has been cursed since they put that damn title on him. Mustafa Ali was supposed to win the damn thing, according to Sean Ross at Fightful.com. Then he gets let go by the higher ups, and they're like, well, shit. Can't do that now. They put it on Trick Williams for 8 seconds, and then they put it back on Dominic, and then he's supposed to lose it to Wes Lee this weekend, again, according to Fightful Select. And then Wes, unfortunately,
which they're not always right. They're not always right.
They're not always right, but yeah, it just it seemed like that was going to be the spot there, and unfortunately, again, Wesley's another one, man. It's like that was heartbreaking watching him on Tuesday. So we wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he gets back.
Absolutely.
But I did think that this was very, very weird tonight. I'm almost wondering if there was supposed to be more of a distraction, Bill, because like right before Dragon Lee got the Phantom Driver, he went up to the top rope. There was like a slight exchange with Dominic, but it wasn't like overly sold, like it cost him a whole lot of time. So I'm wondering if they needed to sell that more to make the distraction. Again, the whole thing, I was expecting Dragon Lee to kick out, and when he didn't, I'm like, the fuck was that? Like literally, that was the same inflection and everything. That's exactly what I said. I was like, that's a weird finish, boy. So I don't know. I don't know. He better win tomorrow.
Well, the next one, why bring Karrion Kross back just to do a job?
Because he's sorry to say this, guys, and I like Karrion Kross, but he's a jobber. He's a jobber on this roster. He is.
I knew him well. I knew him well in the Indies, and he had a different look.
Oh yeah, the bald head looked much better.
Right. I thought he was like frightening to the kids and all this. What they've done with his character, etc. I mean, if you see the opening, it's with the bat coming out and everything. It's a really compelling opening. But from the beginning, they just kept jobbing him out, and I just never really understood it. It looked like he could have been a really good bad guy, and they didn't. So tonight he was brought in after a long time of not being on main roster and just doing a job.
I think Karrion Kross is a spectacular performer. I like what he is able to bring from a character perspective, whatever his character is. He definitely has a style, and it's my kind of style. But whether he's a heel or whether he is a babyface, in WWE, they have not found a way to get the audience interested in him.
They've never tried him as a babyface.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that might be the thing that maybe they should try. At this point, they've done tried everything. He came back, ladies and gentlemen, about 16 months ago in an angle that involved Drew McIntyre, who is now the most interesting person on Monday Night Raw, and the biggest star in the company, Roman Reigns. That's how he came back to the company last year, and now he's in this position. Like, and I'm not calling him a jobber, like saying like that's how he is positioned or that's what he is.
Yeah, no,
it's not. He's very skilled. He's a former NXT champion. He was looking like he was going to be an Impact World Champion before he signed with WWE. This man is talented in the ring. He could do MMA style. He could do submission style. He could be a big man monster heel. He did that so well in NXT, but it just seems like, whether it was Vince McMahon putting a mask on him when he came up to the main roster, or Triple H having him come back and putting him in a main event position and that not working, and then gradually taking him down the card over the last 16 months, it just seems like WWE and him is not meshing too well.
Yeah, they don't believe in him.
Are you kidding me? Gradually going down the card, he went from Drew McIntyre to Madcap Moss in like 2 weeks.
Well, that was when they were pushing Madcap, though. So that's gradual. That's gradual down the. Then they had the guest commentator, the guy from college football, who said on commentary. The one thing I remember he said, Karrion Kross, I haven't seen him since like August. I was like, yo, what are we doing?
Yeah, but I hate to see him in that. I hate to see him in that position.
Man, honestly, you know what? He really has never recovered from the Adam Cole promo in NXT.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
He's never recovered from it's like everybody heard that Adam Cole promo and went, oh, damn, he's right. And that's it. And like, he's never gotten a reaction since then. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I'm with you. And here's the other thing. He's a good dude. Like, he's a really nice guy. I want the best for this man. I want to see him succeed. So yeah, I'm with you. For him to come back and lose in a match to Bobby Lashley, like, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Bill,
as soon as they came into the ring, you knew that Lashley, with his military background, in front of the
yeah.
troops
Yeah.
there. And by the way, thank you to everyone that is taking care of us with and guarding and making sure that we stay okay. Tribute to the troops. We all salute you. Yeah, we do need more Scarlet.
Absolutely.
We could have more, but I think my wife would be upset if she came here.
Benjamin asking, where will CM Punk sign? He's signing on Raw. He's
I agree.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Although I do appreciate him saying tonight, though, I'm gonna have a call with the Heartbreak Kid and talk about NXT, like CM Punk signing on NXT. Come the hell on! Wouldn't that be a
if they need
kick to the groin?
If they need a flagship name to bring that, now that they're contemplating, going all different parts of the world, NXT, they would need that one guy that would draw those crowds, and he would be a hell of a flagship performer for that brand to take it up a lot of notches.
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe we'll get CM Punk and Ilya Dragunov at Stand and Deliver for the NXT Championship. That could be a possibility. John Ross saying Sasha Banks wins the Royal Rumble.
I like that.
Again, I love that. Honestly, if it's not Becky, it needs to be Sasha or Bayley. In my personal
or Jade. I'm not giving up on that. I'm not giving up on it.
He go look. Bill, you're a legend. I hate to disagree with you or anything.
No, it's okay.
I think it's too soon. Okay. I think it's too soon.
Maybe.
And I think you can put her over by having her dominate the field and then getting outsmart by a foxy veteran. I think that's just how.
Yeah, but something could happen. There could be some screw up in the Royal Rumble where toward the last two ladies or something, whatever, the last three, and two of them get eliminated, and she's like, "It's me. I'm here. I'm winning."
Oh my God, that'd be such a Lana finish. You remember when Lana was the sole survivor of
right
Survivor Series, because
one of the worst Survivor Series matches.
All she did was stand on the ring steps, and she was the sole survivor. Oh my God.
And she's in old AEW now, and Jade has just come from.
Yeah, but she's a manager and she's killing it, even though her client is probably going to be in WWE within the next 4 months. Bill, what's going on? Where can people find your stuff?
Well, they can find me at After One Wrestling on Twitter X, and right here on Wrestle Binge. And I'll have some news in the next week or two of some things that are coming up. A lot of bookings coming up in 2024 that I'm looking forward to.
Nice. SP3.
You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I'll be live tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the True Hill Heat Flagship Podcast. Myself and a couple of special guests will be joining me to talk about this week in professional wrestling. So join me live for that. Subscribe over there as well and show your support. Appreciate that. And thank you all for joining us tonight.
I like how you say you're going to be live at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Are you dead up until then, or
I'm gonna be live
from the dead,
alive on the YouTubes,
alive on the air, if you will?
I mean, he's got young kids. He's gonna get all 2 hours of sleep tonight, so he's gonna be as dead as a live person can be. I know how that is. I mean, I got to get up early and take my kids to go see Santa. So hey, we do what we do. You can follow me on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it, at Rick Ucchino there. That's the one-stop shop for all my work, whether it's over on CagesideSeats.com. Monday Gorilla Position will come out. I will probably be talking about CM Punk for the third week in a row. I promise it is not a CM Punk column, but hey, he's the man who's in the news right now. Or you can follow my work if you're a baseball fan, specifically a Cincinnati Reds baseball fan. Inside the Reds, Sports Illustrated. I got an interview coming out next week with former Reds catcher Devin Mesoraco, catching up on his career, pun intended. He was a catcher, and seeing what he's doing at the University of Pitt right now. So you can follow me there, and we got all that good stuff coming out next week. Appreciate you guys. Might be the three of us.
Appreciate you two having me back again.
Yes,
Very
yes. We might go for 3 in a row. We'll see. We'll have to play it by ear. Yes, absolutely.
We love you, Dutch.
Yes,
we do.
We miss the stash here on Smack Talk for sure. I mean, I can do it. There we go.
I can't do it.
I'm holding us down. I'm holding us down. As great as this is, it doesn't compare.
My
to
Jake Roberts stash here.
There we go.
There it is.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right.